Good afternoon, I'm Leslie Garrett. Today you'll be meeting John Maxwell Taylor. You'll be thrilled to hear what he has to say about his book, The Power of I Am.
All right, so here we are, and we're talking about self-identity in the 21st century. How do we maintain that core connection with ourselves as we negotiate our social life at work, with family, with strangers? And you are aware, I'm sure, that we're living in the age of rudeness and also the narcissism epidemic. So people we encounter often have an inflated view of themselves and perhaps a minuscule view of us. So in order not to fall under their projections, we really need to know how to connect with ourselves in such a way that our self-identity doesn't shift around and change depending on who we're talking to. Obviously, we have to make little adjustments here and there. I mean, you wouldn't talk to a policeman the way you talk to your wife, for example. But what I've done over the years, I've sort of created this modus operandi that works for me, where no matter what situation I'm in, I'm always able to come to a sort of a reference point in myself, which I would perhaps characterize as a column of calm or strength here inside myself. You know, I'm pointing to my chest now because today, with the age of information, everybody's kind of migrated up into their heads, and there's a lot of strain on people's faces, and they wrinkle their foreheads when they're talking. But as a professional speaker and an actor, I've been trained to live, move, and speak from down here, where all the power is in oneself. So I have this book that I've written called The Power of I Am, and the subtitle is Creating a New World of Enlightened Personal Interaction, which I think is, it's a good title given the fact that today the sort of people are very unenlightened as it comes to social negotiation skills. So one of the things that's important in this, practicing these techniques which I have in my book, is knowing which eye to look in when you're talking to people, because one eye of a person is what I call the trust eye, or the essential eye. You look in that eye of a person, you don't really see any agendas. Generally speaking, they want to relate to you. The other one is what I call the personality eye, and it seems somehow to be wired into the brain, where you get the good, the bad, or the ugly. Now, you're going to say, well, which is which? And I should say, well, you better read the book, hadn't you? But I can tell you that if you go and stand in front of the mirror and cover up one of your eyes with a hand, and then just look at the uncovered eye, and then switch, so you're covering up the other eye, you're going to see a huge difference. And you may, if you're very sharp, be able to figure out for yourself which eye is the trust eye and which is the one that's got your past history wired into your brain coming through it. And you can train yourself that when you meet somebody for the first time, I always, when I shake hands with someone, I look in the trust eye because it establishes immediately a rapport with them. However, if I've been warned in advance, or I sense that this person's an egotist or somebody who's going to try and dominate me or pull a fast one on me, then as I shake hands with them, I will look into what I call the personality eye, so that I can size them up and figure out where they're coming from. Now, once I've done that, then I look back to the other eye and see whether they want to have a nice flowing connection with me, or they want to try some monkey business, So if they are trying to be difficult, then I may do a sort of a Jedi thing, and it's sort, you don't say these words, but the basic attitude is you don't really want to mess around with me, do you? You see, it's said very interestingly in the first Star Wars movie. Obi-Wan Kenobi said to Luke Skywalker, if you'll become a Jedi, you will develop the ability to influence weaker minds. Well, a weak mind is simply an unfocused mind. And when people do not have an ability to connect with this core part of themselves, a sense of I-ness that isn't shifting around all the time, the mind is all over the place. That's what a weak mind is. It's a diluted personality. And that type of individual, like the Wizard of Oz, makes a big fuss and a smoke screen, and they may be overly aggressive in their tone of voice and so forth, but really there's nobody behind that except a frightened person. So
You just look them in the left
yeah,
eye?
yeah. Well, you want to know. I'm being prompted here by my host, who's running this show, to let you know which is which. Well, I'll just give you one clue. If you're right-handed, your essence is in your left eye.
That would be a personality.
No, the left eye, it's over my heart. This is my essence eye. See, So I'm looking at you now, Leslie, behind the camera, and I'm looking in your left eye. And immediately there's a kind of a flow of warmth and friendliness, you know. If I wanted to get you to back off of me, if you were being pushy, I might look away for a second to break the eye contact, and then look in the other eye, and it's sort of, I'm on to you. Do you really want to go there and start that? You may awaken something in me that you will not be able to handle, you know, because when you have this sense of power within you, so it's not that you want to dominate the other person or be like Darth Vader, and if they cross you up, you kind of choke off their windpipe. It's not like that at all. It's just that you're saying to people, when you are transacting with me verbally, there needs to be a certain degree of respect. Because we live in an age, as I said, of rampant narcissism, and people are often over-familiar when they shouldn't be. I extend my friendship to everybody, but I do not encourage over-familiarity. So if you want to avoid that kind of difficulty, which you may encounter with perfect strangers, total strangers. I always say that in England, a perfect stranger. I have no idea what a perfect stranger is. I've met many imperfect strangers, but someone you haven't met before, a rude salesperson, or it can be someone in your family who's always kind of knows where to push your buttons and so forth, and you don't want to take that anymore. Children too, you know, children try to run their parents ragged, but knowing this thing about the eye-to-eye differential, you can look at a child in such a way that they will connect, they will remember the sweet connection you had with them when they were little, but if they're being obstreperous, you can look in the personality eye, and the message is, that's enough of that, you stop that now. In that way, you really don't have to say much. It's more by the intention of the way that you're looking at them. So, you know, I've had tremendous success with this personally, and I developed it because as an actor, a professional actor, I have learned to be on stage and to do what I want at the right moment and produce the effect and result that I want. Well, Shakespeare said we're all actors and all the world's a stage, and if we want to know how to operate to the fullest of our capabilities on this stage of life, then we need to become self-aware to the point where we know, as we're talking to someone, a few beats ahead of what we're going to say to them, the result and the effect upon them that what we say is going to produce. So this is the power of I am.